March the 8th is International Women's Day and March is Women's History Month. In a patriarchal world where rules are established by men, where institutions and practices are dictated by men, where morality and behaviour are judged by men, it is notable just how poor a state the world finds itself in. Injustice, murder, inequality, poverty, abuse, rape, and criminality of every kind is seemingly endless. It is time for a shift. In this episode, I read out a letter written by Suffragette Constance Lytton to the Rt Honourable Reginald McKenna at the Home Office about the injustice on the basis of class and privilege a co-Suffragette has had to endure. The letter was written while Constance Lytton was in Holloway Prison. The courage of the suffragettes is sadly lacking in political circles today. If only such people as Lady Constance were around to defend her principles, as well as the rights of others, in such a forthright and courageous fashion. My respect to the suffragettes and what they achieved. My respect to women. This is Two in a Mic.
Dung weche pek kod welo mabiro etu under mic. Dung parodit kod jok mawuoye etu under mic. Seche tin sud buta wawinji etu under mic. Wola wachokre, wabed piny, biwawinje, ero chako, dumomit ndi, and a mic. Podcast makende.
Lady Constance Lytton, 15 Somerset Terrace, Duke's Road. Friday, December 8th, 1911. Sir, in a petition which I was recently allowed to send you from Holloway Prison, I called your attention to a matter of injustice connected with the sentences passed on suffrage prisoners at Bow Street Police Court on November 24th. As I have received no acknowledgement of this communication, I conclude that, because of my premature release from prison, the petition was not shown to you. The particular point on which I wish to appeal to you is this. In the case of Mrs. Lee, the wife of a working man, every one of her previous convictions was quoted against her. The most was made of her past record. Mr. Muscult for the prosecution commenting on her case in terms of sweeping condemnation, and she was sentenced to 2 months' imprisonment without the option of a fine. In my case, my previous offences were skimmed over, one conviction was omitted altogether from mention, and I was given a sentence of 14 days with the option of a fine. I know Mrs. Lee personally. I have the greatest admiration for her heroic altruism and for the fortitude with which she has endured great and prolonged suffering on behalf of others. The motives of her law-breaking are identical with my own. She has served our militant movement for a longer period than I have. Consequently, the number of convictions is greater in her case than mine, but there is no act which she has committed on behalf of the women's cause that I have not also committed. On the occasion of our recent charges, November 24th, my actions were more violent than hers, and I was responsible for willful damage to property, of which she was innocent. It has unfortunately been characteristic of the treatment of suffrage prisoners that, both in police courts and prisons, those of us who have influential friends have been treated with comparative leniency, whereas working-class women and women who can count on no supporters in political circles have had the harshest treatment. I am willing to believe that you, sir, are not personally responsible for the recent instances of partiality under your jurisdiction, but these essentially undemocratic specializations inevitably reflect discredit on the government of which you are a member, and unless you take steps to counteract them, your consent must be assumed. I appeal to you, in no controversial or carping spirit, but as one Liberal to another, to remedy the injustice of this particular case by reducing the term of Mrs. Lee's sentence. I should be grateful if you would quickly let me have an answer by Monday. Unless you have any objection, I propose to make public this letter and your reply. I am, sir, yours faithfully, Constance Lytton, to the Rt Honourable Reginald McKenna, the Home Office. 2, 2, 2, 2, and a mic. 2, and a mic.